You can't not like tie in the concept of nostalgia a little bit into like an anniversary reaction. So yeah, somebody's like, you see people like almost get to their 1 year, like I'm 1 year sober. I almost feel like I made it now, and they go, maybe they have this reaction of like, oh, man, I was like things were so. I'm so good. They almost forget anything past that year, and they're like, I'm gonna celebrate by having a drink because I accomplished my goal. So.
Welcome to another episode of Mr. Therapist and the Counselor Podcast. We are here to talk about mental health and recovery, and we are the best and most entertaining mental health and recovery podcast. Jesse O.
This week on the episode of the podcast, we're going to talk about this concept of the anniversary reaction.
That's right. Let me remind you, if you get some value from today's show, please share the show. We're trying to grow the show. We're trying to ask for your support. Share it with a family member. Share it on your story. Let somebody know.
You didn't talk about demystifying whatsoever.
Oh, fuck, dude. Sorry for the kids. Yeah.
I thought is this the start of the show?
Yeah.
We just go right into it. Are you recording?
You're
recording, right? Everything's good. Is
Yeah,
audio good?
I've
not been paying attention to you for the last 5-10 minutes.
I know you've been looking at your phone, dude.
I'm sorry, man. How you been?
I've been good, dude.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I've been doing good.
Yeah.
Feeling a little sore throaty.
Yeah, I know. You mentioned if I still believe in COVID, right?
Yeah, do you still believe in COVID? Because if you do, then we can't record.
I'm still aware of it to protect.
But you're not as scared of it.
No, not as scared about it. I've demystified COVID a little bit.
Yeah.
No, I think it's just the
CDC has demystified COVID.
Yeah, so it's just like you're gonna get sick. I don't want to get COVID in the sense because it could impact like other people, like I said. So
for sure.
Yeah. What's new?
Dude, I just got back from coaching my daughter's soccer team.
You do that on Saturdays. We record on Saturdays. Mm-hmm. Saturday. Elton John?
I thought that was Earth, Wind, and Fire.
No. Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting. Ooh, that's a song that he wrote. Yeah. Also, we record on Saturday, but we actually put this podcast out on Friday. But on Saturdays, you coach your daughter.
No, I don't.
You yell at your daughter from the sidelines.
Yeah, I just watch her. But today I had to
do
coach. Better run.
All of a sudden, you became a caveman. Go fast. What's going on?
Kick ball. No, yeah, I do.
You're not. I thought you're coaching her.
I coached today. So that was
what happened to the coach, the actual coach?
I don't know. Probably spring break, Went out and did some things with their family.
Partied really hard?
Really hard,
okay,
yeah.
Okay.
But it was really fun, dude.
Yeah.
And I feel like I tapped into like a part of me that was like, hey, I could see myself doing this.
Yeah.
Like, I was showing the girls how to do some drills. I was like, all right, girls, bring it in.
Yeah.
We're going to whoop on them today. No, we're not allowed to keep score.
Okay.
But
you don't keep score?
No, it's supposed to be fun.
That's wild. So
they're 5 years old, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So.
This is all new to me. I still don't understand it.
But it's super fun.
And I won't after the end of this podcast. But
my wife says that I was favoring my daughter the whole time. I was like,
damn, bro. I didn't mean to, you gotta shift that.
I know.
How were you favoring your daughter?
I don't know. She said like I would always let her kick the ball more than the. I'm like,
you just take the ball away from the other kids, or just like kick it.
It's her turn. Yeah.
And where's the clock at?
Oh, it's over there.
Yeah.
Let me go get that.
Okay, for sure. But anyways, when it continued, you might have found your calling in coaching.
Yeah, I think I'm might do it next year.
I think you should quit your job.
I think so. I could quit the podcast.
Mr. Coach?
You didn't like that, did you?
I did not like that at all. So,
I'll be back. Let me get your clock.
So, I also, talking about kids, my daughter is 2, right? And whoa, you almost dropped your coffee over there. I was so fascinated by that. But my daughter's 2 years old, right? And I this whole terrible twos. I'm like, why do they call it the terrible twos? And
terrible.
No, they're not terrible though. But I mean, it could be a terrible feeling because you can't do anything for your kid. But I know that they're trying to get a sense of independence, and their brain is like, just firing on all cylinders. But I realize terrible twos also mean like they're just learning, they're getting all these emotions, right? And they're trying to regulate these emotions. I'm like, I know adults that are probably going through the terrible twos right now because people still can't regulate their emotions, and they get a feeling they don't know what to do with it. And I'm just like, but now I'm starting to see that. I'm like, wow, this is basically a kid with emotions. How do I regulate this?
Well, if you think about it, if you're an adult who doesn't know how to regulate your emotions very well, and you have the responsibility of regulating your child's emotions, you impact the ability of that child to be, how effective are they going to be at learning to do that, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, for sure, for a lot of us that grew up in a family where that wasn't known, a good known skill, we have trouble doing that today. Yeah. So
I don't say this is weird, but it's not weird. I think that I'm really empathetic for those when she's having those moments and she's like having a tantrum. I'm like, it's okay because you are two. You're not 32 or 42, which I feel maybe I lack empathy when people are older, not really getting a grasp on the emotions. But based on what you just said, right, our upbringing, like a lot of people aren't showing that. So my hope is with this generation, I can be like, hey, I get it. I see where you're at right now.
Yeah. Did you ever get spanked? When you were a kid?
No, I never did actually.
Yeah.
So.
We talked about this before, right?
We did, yeah. But it's okay to talk about it again.
Talk about things again, yeah. Yeah. So you don't have a desire, not a desire to spank
my
kid,
kid.
But like, does it ever do you ever have to stop yourself from like getting aggressive with your daughter?
I think at this point in time, I think I get more frustrated with myself.
Okay.
I don't know. I think I've done a pretty good job. Not to say I won't mess up at some point in time, but like. I think I'm like, no, I don't respond in that way.
Yeah.
I think I've seen myself like I get frustrated and I'm like, okay then, like I might just do one of those like raise the voice like that. All right, I don't know. Like it's just like that's kind of like that like kind of panic like I'm sorry. I'm trying to do the best I can. But then I just bring her right back down. And I at least I believe that she hasn't. I don't know if she's taken that on or not, but.
I'm a voice raiser for sure. Like when I get frustrated, I'll be like, I'm like, hey, do this, and they won't listen. And I'm like, hey, and then I'm like, damn, I gotta stop doing that.
I've done that. Like I've told her like stop. Hey, no. Like I've done that, but I'm also like I'm not really that intense.
Yeah.
But I'm also trying to. She don't know.
Yeah.
She don't know yet. But she gonna learn.
Hey, dude, you tapped into your inner hillbilly there.
Was it? Did I sound old?
You gonna learn.
Oh man, I'm just a hick at heart. I can't help it. Victorville in the house.
Ooh, love it. Yeah.
So
good luck though with terrible twos, bro.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
Thanks,
you'll get through it.
So, this week on the episode, we're gonna talk about anniversaries.
Yeah. Why? Yeah.
Because we are celebrating
Woo!
our 1-year anniversary as a podcast. We made it. This is when you start dapping, right? Please don't. Anytime I see somebody dap, I really think of you. And the thing is, when people dap, I get so annoyed. People do it.
But no one's ever done the dap like me, though. Like I went all out, dude.
I was watching this show recently, and there was this guy. He was from another country, and he was like, he started dapping, and I was like, this fucking guy. But I was like, but it didn't. I was like, maybe because he's from another country, he doesn't know any better. But then I thought about you, like quickly after that. I was like, this guy should know better. You still busting that out occasionally? Were you on the soccer field busting that out?
No, dude. I don't. Only when I'm around.
See you doing it. Just like go back and forth. Doing your dap.
Yeah, hell yeah. No, was it Mitt Romney? I think
Mitt Romney. Holy shit!
Mitt Romney was. They were on the news. I don't know, talking about some political.
Was he dapping?
No, but his son started dapping in front of the camera, and Mitt goes, "It's like, what are you doing? You got to sneeze or something?" Like, yeah, it's so funny.
Dude, Mitt shut that down.
Yeah,
but our anniversary, our 1-year anniversary, we've gotten to 50 plus shows. Bro. But yeah, we've done 1 year, and you wanted to reflect a little bit. You also wanted to. Where do you want to go with that? Do you want to do some shout outs, or you wanted to like review like the? I guess we're starting the clock with this because we're gonna talk about our anniversary.
Yeah. So clock starts now.
Let's start it right now. Yeah.
All right. Well, first of all, I just want to let's reflect a little bit.
Okay.
On let me ask you this: our very first show.
Yes.
Why we do this, right? And actually, I think it has like the most hits out of our every other show that we got. But
wait, it does?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because I feel like there was this excitement around, like, damn, Manny and Jesse.
Guess it's like that.
Yeah,
that movie comes out in theaters the first week, and everybody's gonna like check it out.
Yeah, so, and now we only got one listener, so. And it's me.
Yeah. Thank you for listening,
for supporting.
Yeah.
No, but yeah. So we had that show. Why we do this?
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you, like thinking back, technically a a week a show. We're 52 weeks into this. So
Yeah.
why did you get into this? Like, if you could revisit that question, maybe it's changed, maybe it hasn't, it's okay. We could repeat things, but like what were you initially thinking this would grow into? And looking back, like, how do you feel about how it's gone over a year, the podcast?
Over the last year, okay, there's a lot of questions in that
Just
one.
two. It was just two. It's like, what were you thinking this would like turn out to be, and like how has it gone based on that expectation for you?
I think I'm proud of where we're at and what we've done with this. I think the initial goal was to do something, try to like expand my career, my horizons professionally. I think was like, because I wanted to just like reach a bigger audience.
Right.
There's a lot of different things with that, I guess, because like, I mean, part of me deep down inside, and the part that I'll just share right now, like there's a part of me that like wants some type of like notoriety or fame or recognition. Maybe I even want like validation, because I feel like I'm good at what I do, and maybe this is not the best part of it, but I want to be relevant. I want people to like pay attention to me. But I also feel like I have a message, and I do something that's really positive and great, and I want to share that with a bigger audience, right? So I think the podcast is an outlet for that, and see how many people we could bring in and spread our message.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But then also I think that I'll say this on a real personal thing. I think I've been lacking in my life a creative like outlet.
Okay.
So for me,
and you're a creative guy.
Yeah, and when a creative person doesn't have that outlet as much, it can like create some like real like negative like mental health feelings. Like I get depressed because I feel like I could be doing more.
Yeah.
I guess in some ways performing, but I miss that. There's been a real creative avenue for me in doing this. And I really enjoy the hell out of it. It's like a passion project for me.
Yeah.
Not that there is like a goal in mind, and what that is, I don't know. Like it's almost, I'm okay with where we're at.
Yeah, me too.
There isn't this like we should be here now, or we should be like making this much money or having this many viewers. I think that like I'm okay with what we are right now. And do I have hopes to exceed where we're at right now? Yes, I do. But there hasn't been like a disappointment. I think I remember when I played in a band for so many years. Like there came times when I lost focus on why I did it, and I feel like we could be more successful or just have a bigger audience. I think also because I wanted that to be my like financial platform. Like I wanted that to be like my job.
Yeah.
But with this, I haven't got to that point yet where I'm like disappointed.
No.
I'm like. So yeah,
that's great. That's
all
amazing.
encompassing. It's been really good. And our initial like our mission statement was why do we do this?
Yeah,
I think that I think I just covered that.
We're still true to that. Yeah, for sure. You know, since we've started, the cool thing, like looking back, like we've grown. We've definitely grown. We have about 200 some subscribers on YouTube, and we have about 20 like consistent listeners per week that like check the show out every week, which is super cool.
Yeah.
If you think about it, because we're doing this very organically.
Yeah.
You know, we haven't we don't have like an agency that like sponsoring us. We're taking time out of our day. You got kids, you got a kid and a family. Mm-hmm. I got kids and a family. We got jobs, and so it is like a fun project that we're doing, and it's kind of cool. You think back, like, damn, that many people have been supporting. You know, and it is energetic and it's exciting. I don't feel like, you know, we're falling behind, or I don't feel this pressure of like, we got to find a way to, you know, but I mean, and you know, every week I kind of throw in that snippet of like, please share the show, follow the show. We've been doing this for a year. We're going to continue doing this, even if you don't share the show, because I think it's important that we put this stuff out there. We've gotten feedback that this has been so helpful for some of you that are listening. But if you do want to support the show in any way possible, I think the best way to do that is to share it. Share it on your timeline, send it to a friend, talk about it, I think we pride on, we don't just give mental health content, although that's primarily the theme of the podcast.
Yeah.
But we're entertaining too. Like we just our relationship,
So
our
entertaining.
dynamic.
Yeah.
We're the funniest people we know. Damn it. And
I look at myself in the mirror and I just laugh.
yeah.
I just can't stop laughing.
With that said, like I want to just give a special shout out to Sarah Kindred.
Yeah.
I think just the support that you've given us, it's so cool and so awesome.
Yeah.
To have you as a consistent listener, appreciate you.
She's in the field herself.
She's in the field. I think she's AMFT. So
That's right.
she's
You've been there before.
I've
working
been there
towards your
before.
hours.
We've all been working towards our hours
Yeah.
before, yeah.
Yeah.
And so she's in the grind and the hustle. I'm sure she'll be licensed. I think she might be a trainee. I think.
What's an AMFT for people who don't know what that is?
So an AMFT just means someone who is working to get their license. They're getting hours under a supervisor. I think she might be a trainee, which means she's probably still in school.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, but she'll be there soon. And,
working her way up.
Working her way on up.
I've in the past I've been meeting maybe trainees or AMFTs, people that haven't gotten licensed yet. They're almost sometimes more refreshing to work with because I think they're just more open to whatever,
learning.
Learning. They're just more open to learning,
more excited.
And not to say like some people when they get licensed, and this is just some people where I'll meet somebody who's licensed and they're almost kind of like they're kind of entrenched in what their beliefs are, and they're like, this is my modality, and that. But I was like, yeah, it's refreshing to work with somebody who's just like brand new in the field. Who's like, I'll work with this person and that person. I'll try this project, or I'll work with this dynamic. So it's exciting.
Yeah,
so,
totally.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to be doing this with you, dude. And just thankful for all the guests that we've had. Like Morgan, Steven, Lupita, Liz, like all the people, Jim, everyone who's come on.
If you don't name them all off, now you're gonna sound like a jerk.
I know.
I'm just kidding. No, and they've all been like,
we love you.
No, yeah, it's been like great, and great things to come. So and let's celebrate. Have a good time.
Good times, come on.
Okay. So on to anything else on that? Just our celebrating ourselves and how fucking great we are.
We're so great.
We're so fucking good, dude.
I wish we had. Abby told me to bring poppers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I was just trying to vacuum. So no, I'm good.
You don't want to do that.
Maybe I could do an effect right now. Go like this.
Oh gosh.
Anyway,
CGI baby, bring it in. Budget's going up.
Yeah, that's right.
So this
what you got for us today, brother?
We tied in as well our anniversary with this concept of something called the anniversary reaction. It's a lot of times a real trauma-based reaction to past events in our life.
That's why guys can't remember their anniversary, right? Like their wedding anniversary. There's a justifiable reason for this, right? Is that what you mean?
Because it's
very traumatic.
It's very traumatic. I would say. Well, so we have a good definition of what the anniversary reaction is. Do you want to read that off, or do you want me to? We both had good definitions for it,
dude.
Huh?
Hit it.
You
got
hit
this.
it. You hit it.
If I read it, I'm gonna read it too fast for you.
God damn it! I'm my fucking glasses on.
I can read it if you want.
No, dude, we gotta. Yeah, okay.
What
all of a sudden, I got really hungry. All of a sudden, it doesn't matter.
You're
Anyways,
so old. You're going through menopause.
The anniversary reaction is a collection of disturbing feelings, thoughts, and or memories that can occur around the event of a traumatic event. It's usually tied into somebody that has like PTSD, post-traumatic.
I've gone through some tough.
Yeah. Stuff. Stop cutting me off here. You see how I read that though, nice and slow for our audience, and it's fucking all like ba 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 ba. But there's a lot of different traumatic events. I mean, listen, anniversary reaction can be ignited by anything from the past that was not a good experience. It could be a car accident. It could be most definitely a death of somebody, the loss of somebody. I notice a lot of times when people, I think, don't like the holidays is because they maybe have like an anniversary reaction of something bad happening. So that anniversary could be Christmas or Halloween, and it's like, I don't like the holidays because this happened around it. So I wanted to bring up so what's your experience with anniversary reactions?
You know what? I don't really have I don't think I have an anniversary.
All right, good night everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. So
that's it. I do get like and maybe this is a little bit of that, maybe it's not, but I do get pretty sad around You know, like the
When we record the
winter
podcast?
time.
Oh, wintertime.
Whenever I'm with you, like I just feel really down.
Seasonal affective disorder.
Seasonal affective disorder.
Okay.
And so I don't know if that is a reaction to something or just seasonal affective, right? And
I don't know if that's really so anniversary reaction. I think it's almost like there's a certain date. Like if you hear a date, you're like, I remember where I was. I brought up to you 9/11.
Yeah.
Right. So now I was very fortunate enough. I didn't know anybody that was like personally impacted by that event. But when I was talking about 9/11, I could remember specifically where I was on that day, the job I worked at. I remember conversations I had with people. I remember driving to the gas station and like, everybody was like rushing out because gas prices were gonna go up. And I think that I remember maybe certain even like feelings around that time of year, but like I think that's an anniversary reaction. I can like almost take myself right there to that moment.
Yeah, but that's not an anniversary reaction though, right?
No, it would be a lot more traumatic and more severe. So
because that would be more when like these symptoms would come up for you, unwanted symptoms, right?
Yeah, like symptoms of like
versus you just remembered this really vivid memory of a really important date, 9/11.
Yeah. So there was symptoms of like the symptoms could be like fear, or there could be flashbacks as it's coming closer.
Yeah.
You could even know like certain things in your body, like you're feeling like a shift in something in mood, physical reactions, and other emotions like frustration, anger, a lot of different things as this comes around. Working in a facility with clients that might have a anniversary reaction coming up, you could see them start to change as like let's say somebody has the passing away of their mother was like 6 years ago. I'll see a client start to isolate, maybe not engage as much and withdraw, because that feeling is upon them and it's very uncomfortable for them. So they don't want to like explore to discuss it. Sure, they'll say, hey, my the anniversary of my mom passing away 6 years ago it's happening on Friday,
right.
And I'll say, hey, my suggestion is pay attention to your body, see what you're doing and how you're feeling, and because you could be in an environment where other people are supportive of you, like find a new way to like get out of that isolation and talk to people. So
right. Do you think that when it comes to recovery, do you think this is similar to when people hit like a 1 year of sobriety, and
that's a good.
It might be really like reminiscing of like, when they were using or when they were drinking.
Yeah, I think maybe. I guess like you can't not like tie in the concept of nostalgia a little bit into like an anniversary reaction. So somebody's like, you see people like almost get to their 1 year, like I'm 1 year sober. I almost feel like I made it now, and they have this reaction of like, oh, man, I was like I'm so good. They almost forget anything past that year, and they're like, I'm gonna celebrate by having a drink because I accomplished my goal. So I think in some ways, but that at the same time, that's also different. Once again, the anniversary reaction is something a lot more like severe, impactful, and it ties into like more negative events. So unfortunately, I think like that, what we're talking about, like when you get like 1 year sober, people start to get nostalgic about drinking.
Yeah.
So they forget about all like the consequences and all the bad things that come with that. So but the anniversary reaction though, you remember, oh no, this is not a good feeling. Like it could be like something very, this is all severe on some level, but like it could be traumatic event when you happened when you were a kid.
Yeah.
On maybe they can't celebrate their birthday because on that birthday, like I remember being hit by my father, and so when birthdays come up, I'm like, I can't celebrate this. I'm almost scared to enjoy this.
Yeah.
So
when someone's going through something like this, what are some good coping mechanisms or ways to prepare for something like this? Because if it is an anniversary, you can kind of almost notice it coming up, right? Like,
right. So I think that I have two in mind. Do you have? I'll share my two.
Okay.
One is what I already kind of brought up, was talking to people, finding a way to process that experience and that feeling. We are not in our terrible twos. We're not toddlers. We don't need to suppress these emotions Well, I guess toddlers aren't suppressing their emotions. What am I talking about?
Yeah, they are, those toddlers.
They're getting, yeah. I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, if your emotions are all over the place, like, express them as in the right ways, and maybe even the wrong ways for a moment, but at least get it out, talk about it, find somebody you feel safe with to discuss this feeling. Maybe you're like, I don't want to burden people with, this thing that happened 10 years ago. Why would I want to talk about it? I don't want to be a burden to other people. You're not a burden to other people. What you're doing is you're a burden to yourself by not escaping this past, expressing how you feel, talk about what's coming up for you. Because if you don't, I think we fall back on our negative coping skills, which is like maybe picking up a substance or isolating. I think processing is one important skill. The second one, and most definitely say this, is building brand new traditions. So when we lose somebody, we're not going to celebrate the loss, or we're not going to celebrate the traumatic event. Like we brought up 9/11. Like if somebody's going through a traumatic anniversary reaction, they're not going to be like, yeah, 9/11, I can't wait. Let's, pop those CGI streamers we talked about.
Yeah.
But it is like looking back at that event, who you are today, and how you could celebrate who you are today, and maybe those people that you lost in your life, the good things about them, talking about like good memories, or talk about your growth and where you're at, like how you have persevered through that real negative event in your life.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, if it's okay to shift a little bit, we can come back to coping strategies because we're not done. But this reminds me of like there's times where either a client or someone I know, maybe they've made an attempt on their life, and the date becomes a very important date, right? If they've survived, especially,
right? Yeah.
And speaking of that, I know you shared before that you went through something similar where you had some suicidal thoughts, right?
Yeah, I mean, like the day that I didn't want to live anymore was June 29th. I remember where I was. I was at the Wiltern in Los Angeles. I remember the bands that were playing. But yeah, I can remember specifics about that day, and I could walk through it. And it's okay to look back on that time in my life because I feel like I've gotten to a place in my life where I can go, wow, I remember how low I was. And I said before this we recorded, like, that when that comes up, that's not triggering for me, and that's not an anniversary reaction because
the date doesn't like
because nothing bad happened on that day. Instead, on that day, I chose that was the day I wanted to live. That was the day where I was like, I could see some light in the dark. So if it was the other thing, if something really bad would happen, or I made the attempt, maybe it would. I don't know. I can't speak on that because it didn't.
What would be an example? Like, let's say, let's assume that was a triggering date for you, right? Like, I don't even know if you can get into this headspace, but like, what would it be like to do some of the things that you just suggested people to do?
Like you're talking about like building new traditions.
New traditions on that, yeah. Like, give us an example of like how. Like, how you would be able to build a new tradition around something like that. Yeah. I think you can. I would
say, like, maybe I can go to concert. I went to that concert by myself because my goal was not to come back from that concert. Yeah. Like, I went alone. Maybe go to a concert with some friends. Okay. Enjoy the fact that I'm alive and I love music. And hell, man, maybe even go, like, if there's a concert around that time. I don't know if there's gonna be a concert on that date at the Wiltern, but like, maybe go down and be like, hey, guys, this is like, I remember this time of year 10 years ago, and this was gonna happen to me, but it didn't, and I'm alive, and let's enjoy life and celebrate music and like our passions and and like a passion to live, all those stuff. So
that makes sense.
I think I was trying to think of like if there's also those events of like how do you celebrate something more traumatic. I wouldn't say like, hey, I was abused as a child 15 years ago on this day, somebody took advantage of me. Like, I'm not gonna be like, hey, how would I celebrate that? How could I turn that around? I don't know, maybe it is honoring who you are today and what you've worked through, and reminding yourself on that day, which could be a very, very hard, challenging day, and all those like negative experiences could come creeping in. it is like finding solace in the fact that like I didn't deserve that. I shouldn't have been treated that way. I don't need to hurt myself anymore. I need to heal myself, and it's finding whatever healthy outlet that it is for that individual that's experienced that trauma in the past.
Yeah, I think, you consider this. Every trauma is different.
Yes.
Right? And then everyone is interprets their trauma differently, right? And so, yeah, I think you went through something where, you didn't want to live anymore. And you can look back at that right now and say, like, actually, that's a celebration for me choosing to live.
Yeah.
In the example of someone getting abused, who knows, maybe they won't see it as a positive thing, but there's different coping strategies you can use if it is anniversary reaction that you're having, right? If it's unwanted symptoms of maybe flashbacks or anxiety or depression, or a trauma response in some way. And I think coping strategies that are better equipped for someone going through that would be, I think it would be like holding space for your feelings, right? Like accepting and acknowledging that whatever feelings show up or whatever reactions show up on that day, that is okay. Like we can hold space, and you can take time to grieve what was taken from you this day or at this time last year, whatever year it was, and allow whatever feelings come up. I think having this non-judgmental stance around your emotional reactions is important. Adding some self-compassion to, hey, like it's okay that I need to cry right now, or that I need to grieve this right now, or that I'm not going to have a couple of days. So I think that's one coping skill. And along with that is preparation around this date, like knowing that this date is on the calendar, it is going to come. I think, people can think that, oh, I don't want to put more attention onto it, bring negative things into my life. But if you're having a tough time with this date, it's important to be honest about that and acknowledge that and say, you know what, on August 8th, 9th, and 10th, like I'm just going to, maybe I'll call out of work, have some friends over or whatever it is that I need to make this time go a little bit smoother for me.
Yeah, take a good mental health day and focus on yourself there. Yeah, for sure. So I wanted to bring up a couple things before we're kind of almost at the end here. Like I mentioned to you before the podcast too, like Kurt Cobain, he passed away, and I know we're a little past the day in April, but that he passed away like was it 30 years ago? Kurt Cobain, yeah. So I mean, like, I wanted to bring up his passing because
when was that? No,
who was that?
No, when was that?
Oh, we already had this discussion.
Yeah,
we don't need to go back on that. That happened on April 4th, 1994.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, and that was a monumental, traumatic, sad day for a lot of people because Kurt Cobain was a huge musical inspiration for so many people. Creatively, somebody for me, like, opened the doors for like, all kinds of like art and music and like how to be different and embrace the concept of being weird and being different in front of other people. So like, yeah, I mean, that's an anniversary. No reaction to that. Maybe just the anniversary reaction is so. And once again, that's a more severe concept. But like, the passing of somebody, which made a huge impact, and people have that throughout their lives. But that was I just wanted to bring that up because like, yeah, it's wild to think 30 years ago this happened, or when we would bring up 9/11, like these events in our lives, like. As we move past it more and more, I don't know if time heals all wounds, but the memory still remains. And once again, back on the anniversary reaction, we can try to suppress like something that happened 30 years ago or 20 years ago. But like, if we're in a vulnerable place and we're not doing the work, something can like sneak in and like something like, oh, but that was 20 years ago. All of a sudden, that could become so like prominent in how we're feeling. So I think that kind of promotes again like mental health and continuing to do the work. And the moment you stop working, like you could start losing. So just always like feed the soul with good things.
Yeah. By the way, what do you call that when you a disclaimer? A disclaimer.
Yeah.
Talk to a therapist. If you do think you're going through an anniversary reaction, the point of us having this discussion isn't to diagnose you.
Nope.
It's not for you to treat yourself. We have some coping skills and some things that you might be able to do by yourself, but urge you, talk to a therapist, seek up professional help, someone who can really guide you, understand what you're going through, and really give you some solid guidance on what to do. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Beautifully said.
Thank you.
And check on your friends. Till next time.